Good evening. Welcome to the City of Coffeyville Commission meeting for Tuesday, December 23rd, 2025. I can't talk tonight.
It's okay.
Melissa,
I can take roll calls. Okay.
Help me out here.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Here.
Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Here.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Here.
Mayor Maples.
Here.
And Commissioner Jones is absent this evening.
We will have our invocation by Pastor Jason Swindell of Convergence Church. Everyone please stand.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. So thank you for this opportunity, and let's pray. Father, we thank you, Lord, for this season. It's all about your Son, Jesus Christ. We thank you that even in this commission, it's a season of ending and new beginnings. Lord, I thank you for your peace over this city, that they would rule and reign, Lord, with the people in mind, Lord, that they would have wisdom and knowledge, Lord, straight from above, that they would make decisions, Lord, that's even above their own knowledge. I thank you, Lord, for leading them and guiding them, protecting the citizens of this community, protecting our officers, firefighters, all of our staff. Lord, I thank you that you would rule and reign in this place, that you would be the God of this city, and Lord, that you would just be exalted in this season. In the mighty name of Jesus, amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we will now have a review of our agenda, starting with the consent agenda, the City Commission meeting minutes for Tuesday, December 9th, 2025, then the 2026 funding requests, and a resolution R-25-139, a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute a mortgage release in favor of Dirty's Tavern of Coffeyville LLC. And then the 2025 appropriation ordinance number AO-25-24 in the amount of $3,983,988.46. And Vice Mayor Van Oster will have highlights of the appropriation ordinance.
Okay, these are just a few of the things that we have that make our city run. We have to AT&T $16,028. This is for the consolidated E911 services. We have we have Bettis Asphalt and Construction, pay estimate number 3 for the maintenance project, $249,709. BG Consultants, this is design and engineering on several projects that we have going on right now, $28,378. We have Landon Public Finance, $2,240. This is payment number 30 on our golf cart lease plan that we have. Decker Construction, $7,125. This is in conjunction with one of our historical downtown grants to the Bake Shop on 8th Street. We have Grand River Dam Authority, $1,997,535. We have Kansas Department of Revenue, sales tax, etc., $45,745. KMGA Gas Supply Operating Fund, $378,438. Lochner, we have pay estimate number 6 on the mill and overlay design, $6,640. Mid-Continental Restoration, this is also another historical downtown grant. This is on the old terminal building owned by Jim Taylor, $7,875. We have Midland Theater. This is another historical downtown grant we gave. This is the window prints design, $801. Montgomery County Treasurer. This is for tag title registration for our vehicles for this next year, to $23,926. We have Southwest Power Pool Incorporated. This has to do with the transmission in conjunction with GRDA, $448,755. We have Troy McGatlin. This is another historical downtown grant that he received for his building at 127 West 9th. They're working on $2,334. And payroll, $487,429. Okay. That's it.
Did we want to say anything about any of the other items on the consent agenda? Did you have a question?
You think it would be appropriate just to mention highlights of number 2 on the list?
Sure.
All right.
Do you have that paper? Can you do that?
Yeah,
We've got that here.
just a minute. let me
Just a
find
sec.
it.
This is for the funding requests.
Just thumbnail, not the details.
Yeah.
Okay, so funding requests going out, cash awards to various different entities, 45,000. Funding distribution, we have 40,000. This goes, you want me to name your names for you? Is that what you want?
Sure,
Okay, the
go ahead,
first
go ahead
one
now.
was in conjunction with the Midland Theater Foundation, Coffeyville Historical Society, and the Boys and Girls Club. Funding distribution, various funds. This goes to Live Healthy Montgomery County, 4 County Mental Health, the Warming Center, and Genesis Food Bank, 40,000. And then we have event sponsorships, Fair and Rodeo, Chamber Dinner, CCC Banquet, Leadership Coffeyville, the Golden Tornado Boosters, and the Summer Celebration for a total of $25,750.
Now, well, just to clarify, since we have those amounts, anything there that's funded by GRDA, that's subject to their joint approval, and so
Right.
that's not guaranteed.
Right. Okay. Any other questions? Anything about the budget, or the appropriation order? All right, then I will move to approve items 1 through 4 of the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Mayor Maples, seconded by Commissioner Faulkner to approve items 1 through 4 of the consent agenda as presented. Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
Mayor Maples.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
All right, we will move on to comments from the public. Any citizen desiring to address the commission shall be recognized, advance to the podium, state his or her name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes unless extended by a vote of the majority of the commission. The commission does not hear matters involving litigation or city personnel. The commission does not take action on subjects not on the agenda unless unusual or hardship conditions exist. Citizens may address the commission on agenda items as they are brought to the floor. Do we have any comments? Come on up.
Yes.
How are you tonight?
I am here. It's Christmas break.
Yes.
I am Alicia Melton with Touch of Life Ministries here in Coffeyville, better known as the Warming Center to most of you guys. Just a quick kind of comparison and update. I know we were here a few months ago in preparation for the upcoming season. Thank the Lord it hasn't been too cold yet, but I hear it's getting ready to change. Last year we had a total of, hold on, I gotta get we were open 56 days. We were closed 34 days between January and February. In December. Ended up with 132 guests. We served 329 meals and accumulated 903 volunteer hours last winter. And that's just the warming center. That's not anything else that we do there. So far this year, we have been open 22 days, closed for 30, and this is November, December. We've had 17 guests, served 34 meals, and have 161 hours donated. I know you guys have seen also not just doing the warming center, we've been doing some community feeds as well. We did one in, in November. We did chili, fed 107 people. Thanksgiving, we were open for the warming center, so we prepared a meal that night, like Thanksgiving meal as well, and served 9 because there are other things in the community. Turkey noodle dinner we did just a couple of weeks ago, served 130 people, and we just handed out 72 Christmas dinner baskets to families in the community and surrounding areas. I that almost brings tears to my eyes, because when we started doing that, our number was 25. And it was rough. We did 25 for several years. Last year, the Lord doubled that to 50. And this year, all by myself with our team, He gave us 72. And everyone was blessed, and everyone will be able to have dinner at home with their families, traditionally, not having to go out and seek a free meal. So, do you guys have any questions? Or
Is your food donated? How does that funding for the food come from?
a lot of it is donated.
Okay.
What's not donated, we try to pick up the difference. For the Gorhams have helped us, the handyman service here in town. They helped with the chili feed and the turkey noodles. And we're going to be doing a bean feed in January, which we already have most of the supplies on hand for that. So whatever else is needed, we're like, hey, we're doing this if anybody wants to help. And
Do you do things like out through Facebook saying, please give?
oh yeah, we put it out on Facebook,
Okay.
on our page. A lot of times the radio will help push that out to let people know what's going on. So yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
appreciate it.
And just off the top of your head, what supplies are you needing right now for when your guests come and stay?
Miss Nola, can you come help me? She is my rock. She is the one that is there while I'm working. So what are some things we're in need of supply-wise?
For on the food wise, it's pancake mix, cereals. Always use eggs, flour,
Milk.
milk.
Meat is always good because that gets expensive. We are really stocked on like canned goods, things like that. But when it comes to, we'll do like a bunch of pancakes so we can feed them, and we'll make them up enough to where, hey, we can just reheat these later. So we are absolutely very frugal and cautious with what we make, that it stretches and that the people are fed. So, go ahead.
We were able to get our shower put in
Oh, yeah.
September. So we take a lot of the little travel size shampoos and deodorants.
Hygiene
I
stuff.
have a lot of toothbrushes right now, but yeah, the hygiene, body washes to have them go in and take showers with, so everybody's not sharing the same bottle.
And laundry detergents.
Laundry detergent.
That's another thing, is we have lots and lots of bedding to wash when we're busy. So,
Do you have your washer and dryer in there?
we do.
That's so much better.
It is so, we have been so blessed this season. I mean, this past 6 months. Missions team came up in September. They put a shower in, which we've been working on for 3 years to get that done. We have our washer and dryer. They separated that area to where we have like a private laundry room area now. They divided a lot of the bigger classrooms on the bottom floor, so we can do more things with the space that we have. It's unbelievable. We have been so blessed. So, any
Thank you
other
for all you do.
questions?
Thank you
We
for
appreciate
coming tonight.
You're
And
welcome.
I know this is kind of a nice break for you all, but I know, yeah, it won't last.
No.
So, but we appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you
very
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Anyone else? Okay. We will now move on to our regular agenda items. We have no public hearings, special presentations, or proclamations. Old business, we will have the second reading of ordinance G-25-10, an ordinance amending Chapter 36, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Coffeyville, Kansas, by repealing Division 3 sidewalk dining license and replacing it with a new Division 3 outdoor and sidewalk dining.
With this being our second reading, and those provisions were all explained and read at the last time before our first reading, I will move to approve the second reading of ordinance G-25-10 as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner Faulkner, to approve the second reading of ordinance G-25-10 as presented. Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
Mayor Maples.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Now we will have the second reading of ordinance G-25-11, an ordinance repealing Chapter 10, Article 1, Section 10-1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Coffeyville, Kansas relating to home, garage, and rummage sales.
I will move to approve our second reading of ordinance G-25-11 as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Mayor Maples, to approve the second reading of ordinance G-25-11 as presented. Mayor Maples.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
All right, now moving on to new business. Resolution R-25-140, a resolution to execute a 10-year service agreement with Axon Enterprises Incorporated for a public safety camera bundle for the Coffeyville Police Department. Chief of Police Quinn Bromley will make comments.
Gotta do a couple things here real quick. We can figure this.
Okay.
Just so folks at home know, we don't have the capability to live stream like a Zoom or a Teams meeting, and so we do have some folks from the companies that we're going to be talking about that Chief Bromley is going to pull up. So commissioners will be able to see that over here on the screen. That won't be, everybody at home should be able to hear the audio, but they won't see those videos.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read my staff report.
Okay.
And then I will bring them on to the agenda. Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yep.
This resolution, the Police Department is seeking City of Coffeyville Commission approval for a 10-year service agreement with Axon Enterprises Incorporated to acquire 30 body-worn cameras, 22 vehicle cameras for the fleet, 4 interview room cameras, a digital evidence management system, which is evidence.com, 2 Axon Air drones. One of them is a drone as a first responder, the other one is a patrol drone, for the purposes of detecting, investigating, and deterring crime while enhancing both citizen and first responder safety in Coffeyville. 1 moment.
Getting old kind of stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
You need mine?
Very good. In 2014, Coffeyville experienced the highest crime rate per capita in the state of Kansas at 87.6 crimes per 1,000 residents. Unfortunately, because of the UCR statistics and the perception of crime, Coffeyville was named the most dangerous city in Kansas. In 2015, I was appointed chief of police and was given one directive: reduce crime in Coffeyville. As part of that directive, I immediately implemented several strategies within the police department to reduce crime, including but not limited to increased public awareness through social media, engagement with and through community stakeholders, civic groups, and community events. Additionally, I empowered our patrol supervisors to operate their patrol shifts as they saw fit. No more micromanaging. We encourage proactive enforcement of all laws while providing specialized training to our staff and supervisors. The police department collaborated with federal, state, county, and local other law enforcement agencies on intelligence sharing while increasing multi-jurisdictional investigations. We sought out grants, utilized drug forfeiture money to improve radio communications, acquire mission-specific equipment for our PD staff to improve efficiency in operations, and embraced innovative technologies to deter and solve crimes. The results indicate our efforts are working. The latest FBI UCR for 2024 reported a significant decrease in Part 1 crimes in Coffeyville at 31.7 crimes per 1,000. So 87.6, 31.7 now.
Good job.
It's the lowest crime rate statistic we had since we began submitting data to the KBI in 1999. The police department continues to review our policing strategies and emerging technologies to make improvements for overall success for our community. During a recent post-officer-involved shooting discussion with police command staff, I learned the majority of our sworn police officers requesting the PD to look into the future acquisition of body-worn cameras, not only to aid the officers with criminal investigations, but also to protect them from erroneous allegations of misconduct. In July 2025, while repairing a malfunctioning patrol car camera, our WatchGuard technician informed me that Motorola Solutions, a Chinese-owned company, had previously purchased WatchGuard. Additionally, Motorola Solutions was no longer supporting our WatchGuard system, both the hardware and the software. Sometime in late winter, early spring in 2026, that system is no longer going to be available for us. I visited with our staff to identify what specific tools we needed to improve services to our community, deter and reduce crime, aid in criminal convictions, protect the city from frivolous complaints and lawsuits, and improve officer citizen safety. We identified body-worn, car, interview room cameras, and an aerial asset, a police drone. I immediately began researching public safety equipment companies who offer similar products. I visited with a number of LEA, law enforcement agency peers, who currently operate these items that we identified. I was getting the pros and the cons. I've also witnessed demonstrations and observed real-world applications of the equipment in a real-time crime center. And that's when I traveled to Wichita PD along with Thomas Osborne, and we spent the day in their real-time crime center watching this stuff firsthand. Axon Enterprises Incorporated offers body-worn cameras, advanced in-car cameras with ALPR, that's similar to our license plate readers, live alerts, high-definition interview room cameras. The Axon Air drone is a first responder that interfaces with our next-gen 911 system. Unlimited cloud storage via axonevidence.com. Fusus Pro, it's a software that provides real-time officer location, live streaming, and command visibility. And all of that is integrated into a single pane of glass. And what that is, a single pane of glass is a unified, centralized interface that consolidates data, tools, and controls from multiple systems into one view. So in other words, it combines the air, the cars, and the body-worn cameras onto a screen, providing us real-time, up-to-date data and a view of where they're at. An example of that is when we were in Wichita at their RTCC. There was a situation that occurred in town with a shoplifting or something went on in a store. Patrol cars went to that scene. You could see the cars on the map as a dot with the unit number on it. An officer got out. You actually saw the officer's body-worn camera footage as well as an overlapping screen of that dot as well. And then they can send the drone in as well and provide all three videos, both the car, the officer's body-worn camera, and the drone footage, all into one centralized view. Very impressive. In addition to all that, Axon offers a transparency public portal, redaction tools to protect privacy, product replacement warranties, and 24/7 live customer support. We were able to visit with Axon, and we have additionally we're able to get what they call hardware refreshes. So you're not stuck with a piece of technology for 10 years that's outdated and obsolete. Every 2.5 years, they're replacing it with brand new, up-to-date, current models. And that is the same with the drone system as well. 5 years for the cars, I believe. And so it's something that's not offered in a lot of the other public safety companies. Based on my research, we determined that Axon Enterprise Incorporated Law Enforcement Camera Bundle would provide an effective and efficient tool that will help amplify our efforts in streamlining evidence handling, reducing crime, mitigating civil liability, and improve on first responder safety in Coffeyville, thereby enhancing public safety. Some special notes to be noted. I visited with several public safety organizations who currently operate Axon Enterprise products, including body-worn cameras, fleet, and drones as first responders. All were extremely pleased with the hardware and software, and especially the customer service. We have been using Axon Enterprise's tasers since 2006. The taser has been very effective in reducing use of force and mitigating citizen and officer injuries. Our local police FOP supports this endeavor. We have also applied for several grants to offset a portion of the cost of the project, with award date set for April of 2026. Additionally, the Axon Master Service and Purchasing Agreement contains a non-appropriations language on page 4, section 17 under termination. So in the unlikelihood that something should happen financially with the city of Coffeyville, where we're no longer able to meet our obligations with Axon, we can terminate this 10-year lease agreement. And this contract, if approved, would take effect in April, correction, not March, with a net 30-day payment. I and my staff highly recommend approval of the execution of a 10-year service agreement with Axon Enterprises. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I do have Axon and Skydio available as well. They're going to provide some additional information. There are literally hundreds of applications for the drone as a first responder, for not just police, but applications for fire, for medical, children missing, adults walkaways. It's really beneficial to have an eye in the sky and giving you some the ability to see video in your patrol car or in your fire truck as you're responding to the call, as it's real live to you, so that you can actually determine how to approach that situation tactically and safely, as opposed to just driving into a blind. Give me one moment, please. Thomas is also here to help with questions. Let's see if on the audio. Right here. And there we are.
Hey, Chief. You guys all right?
Mayor and Commissioners, this is Travis Cole with Axon. And also joining us tonight is Braden Herrera, Jordan Sowers, and a couple of other individuals on the.
We've got Phil with Skydio and Vern with Axon as well, both on the Axon Air side and Skydio side as well. So we brought the whole team for you guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
On audio? Great, okay. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for letting us jump on here and talk to you a little bit about Axon as a company, the solution we're recommending for the agency and the city. And I'm Travis Cole. I'm the Axon account manager. Been with Axon about 9 years. I've been supporting Coffeyville PD for about 3 years. And we're excited to present this solution to you. And I'm going to start it out with a little video, just kind of highlighting the Axon ecosystem. It's about 2 minutes long. And then I'm just going to kind of run through the Axon ecosystem in general, a little bit about the company, and then kind of dive into the actual solution for you guys. And then I'll kick it over to Braden. He's going to talk to you a little bit more about the Axon Air side. So the drones, how drones are being used as first responders, and then we can open it up to any questions for myself or anybody else on the line. So let me share my screen real quick.
Excuse me, Chief, is this being broadcast over the system so people at home can see it as well?
They can hear it, they can't see
They
it.
can just hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Axon ecosystem is the global operating system for public safety. Axon's cutting-edge, connected hardware and software solutions empower agencies to build safer societies. Equip your officers with industry-leading smart devices to effectively manage critical situations with reduced force. Ensure proficiency on these devices with realistic VR training that can be used anytime, anywhere to enhance their skills. Enhance evidence capture with Axon body-worn cameras, featuring automatic camera activation and real-time alerts. Modernize your in-car capabilities with Fleet 3 with ALPR technology. Stay ahead of drone threats with Dedrone by Axon, AI-enabled counter-drone technology. Bring it all together with Axon Fusus, Axon's real-time crime center in the cloud. Axon Fusus integrates feeds from public and private cameras, drones, and body-worn cameras for complete real-time situational awareness that helps agencies respond faster and smarter, and leverage responsibly designed AI to improve reporting, evidence management, and operational workflows. Join 18,000 agencies across the world that trust the Axon ecosystem to help them protect more lives in more places. Axon, empowering safer societies with smarter technology.
That gives you kind of a taste of Axon, and I'll kind of walk you through the actual ecosystem as far as what's included for Coffeyville PD. So, again, appreciate it. We're honored to be partnering with Coffeyville. We're looking at a 10-year agreement with the police department, and you know, Axon is more than just a taser or a body camera company. We've been protecting life for over 30 years. You know, we've been partnering with Coffeyville since 2013 on the taser technology. And when I first started 9 years ago, it was called Taser International. And 8 years ago, we changed our name from Taser International to Axon Enterprise. And Axon really embodies beyond just tasers and maybe body cameras and dash cameras. It really is a powerful ecosystem. And so, you know, I'm kind of looking back when I joined, I thought, gosh, it's crazy that we're changing our name from Taser to Axon. Nobody knows what Axon is. But I guess our marketing people knew what they were doing because, like I said, it's really this ecosystem. And when everything's integrated together, it makes things more efficient. It protects the officers, the communities they protect. So we're proud to be American-made, based out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Like I said, this is all we do. Our mission is to protect life, and we couldn't do it obviously without our partners such as Coffeyville PD. But it's an ecosystem that is designed to, at the end of the day, make the officers safer, more proficient, and at the end of the day, everybody at the end of the day just wants to go home safe. So that's the idea behind the ecosystem. One thing that really sets us apart is the TASER technology. So no other company has the technology where once the TASER is armed, it'll activate any Axon body camera within about a 30-foot radius. And that's important. You know, I've never been in law enforcement, but I can imagine in stressful situations, maybe the officer isn't thinking about double tapping their body camera. But if you've got that TASER armed, it'll automatically send out a Bluetooth signal within about a 30-foot radius, and any Axon camera would automatically turn on, any body-worn dash camera. So those are the kind of things that Axon provides. And so, like I said, the technology has progressed and the company has progressed beyond just TASERs. It's now, you know, a one-stop shop, I guess, for your technology needs. We're the market leader, and I always say, like, I don't take that for granted. Like, I only work with agencies under 50 sworn in the Midwest, and I know a 30-man agency is just as important as a 5,000-man agency. We're trusted by over 18,000 law enforcement agencies worldwide. Like I said, we're manufactured in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're so focused on the customer. Our founder and CEO, Rick Smith, goes on speaking tours, and we bring a lot of law enforcement professionals to Scottsdale, and we hear about feedback and what the customer's looking for, what we can do better, what they want in our next generation body camera. So it really drives our mission and where we go as a company. You know, I'm a big customer support guy, so I firmly believe we have the best product in software and hardware in the world. But for me, technical support, customer service, our returns team, that's, I think, what sets us apart. Is we know we can't fail. At the end of the day, you know, the police officers are doing the hard work, and we're so committed to 24/7 technical support. So that means if an officer's got a camera go down or they can't log into the cloud system at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night, they can pick up the phone, they can talk to somebody in Scottsdale, Arizona. This isn't a, you know, automated recording and we'll call you back on Monday morning. We're there for you. In addition to that, you'll have a dedicated customer success team. This is a team that is committed to making sure the deployment is efficient, making sure that if you have something go down, we'll get something to you within 1 to 2 business days. If you have a question about an invoice. So it's a dedicated team for your department as we roll things out and for the life of the 10-year agreement. And then seamless integration. So this is, like I said, we're a big company, but we partner with a lot of smaller companies, whether we're maybe acquiring them or we partner with them. Skydio is a great example. We've been a partner of theirs for about 3 years, and they're the American-made drone manufacturer. So we're proud to be partners of theirs. So just kind of shows you, you know, why agencies choose Axon. And there's a lot in Kansas. You know, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, this is Bernie. You're still on the YouTube screen. I'm not sure if you need to have your video
or
your PowerPoint.
No, I should have my PowerPoint. Thank you, Vern. Stand by. How about that? Can you see that better?
There we go. You're on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Vern. And what it just kept going. Kansas agencies. So you know, I just put a few up here, but you know, we're trusted by a lot of agencies in the area: Topeka, Wichita, Johnson County. It's an ecosystem that is evolving, and a ton of agencies are using the platform. And so, you know, I touched on kind of why agencies choose Axon, but the other thing I like to touch on is, you know, it's an ecosystem that can grow, right? So Axon's got a lot of bells and whistles. Not everything is on this package for the police department, but it is a very solid foundation for 30 body cameras, 22 dash cameras, 2 drones with a docking station, 4 interview room solutions, and then a full digital evidence management platform. So Evidence.com is our cloud-based digital evidence management solution, so everything is pushed to the cloud. So there's no local servers, there's no possibility of a natural disaster destroying a server or somebody hacking into some hard drive or server. It's very secure, it's CJIS compliant. Like I said, 18,000 agencies trust evidence.com as far as storing their digital evidence management. The body camera, it's a really durable, waterproof camera that gets you about 13 hours of battery life out of the box. We've been selling the Axon Body 4 camera for about 3 years and very rarely have any complaint. The biggest thing is agencies want to know how long it'll last on a battery, and so 13 hours is usually well beyond a normal officer shift. So we've got docking stations, mounting options, charging cables, so that's all built into the kind of the body camera side of things. I touched on that taser technology where once you arm the taser, it'll activate any Axon camera. And then the cloud solution. So, like I said, very secure, unlimited storage for the next decade. So, back 3-4 years ago, there were a lot of agencies that were on a la carte storage, and every few years they might have to call us and add some more storage. So with now these bundles these days, it's kind of set it, forget it for the next decade. You can store all your evidence. And it's, I like to say also, it's beyond just storing your body cameras and your dash cameras and your drone video. It's really a full digital evidence management platform. So crime scene photos, other audio recordings, CCTV, Ring doorbell, you can store everything in evidence.com. The dash camera system would be 23 patrol cars fully outfitted with dash cameras. So a front-facing camera, and then a cage camera as well. And the big part of the dash camera system with Axon is the integrated automatic license plate readers. So, you can imagine driving around town with 22 patrol officers and being able to read plates. And it's a valuable tool. It's solving crime every day. So that's built into the package as well. In addition, GPS and live streaming, so you can see where the body cameras are on a map in the field, not only for the body cameras, but you can see where the dash cameras are as well. And then the department chief, captain can set up an alert on their Axon app or on their desktop, and they can get an alert of when an actual camera is actively recording. So you can imagine getting an alert, say when the Taser 7 is armed and drawn, could get an alert, they could set this up where now they can pull up the app and they can see what's going on with that officer. So a lot of situational awareness built into this package, more eyes, being able to provide additional resources. So those are really valuable tools. You never kind of know when you're going to need something like that. And I always get the question sometimes, well, does that mean that chief can just tap into any body camera and Big Brother? No, the camera has to actively be on and recording, and they would get an alert to be able to view a live stream. And the officer gets an actual audible alert and a vibration when somebody is actually viewing their live stream, so that way the officer knows as well. So there's a lot of safeguards in place. On the drone side, like I said, 2 Axon Skydio drones, a docking station, and this is really becoming that DFR, or drone as first responder. And I'll let Braden and the other folks, go through kind of the ins and outs of that side. But, I kind of look at it as like using the technology to our advantage, right? Instead of maybe sending an officer into a building that potentially could have, an uncomfortable situation or, possibly a harmful situation, let's send in a drone instead of our patrol officer. So that's the intention, as well as getting to that scene well before somebody could actually get in their car and go to that scene. So, like I said, they'll touch on that, but that's a component as well here. And then the interview rooms, so being able to really house everything, so your interview rooms would automatically, that video evidence would automatically get pushed up to evidence.com. And so the idea is a lot of departments have different companies for their interview room or their dash cameras or their drones. More and more agencies want everything together under one umbrella, all housed in evidence.com, and it makes it very easy to create a case in evidence.com. So you can imagine, let's put the body camera video, let's put the dash camera, let's take the drone video, and the interview confession, let's say. Put it all into a file, send that off to the district attorney and prosecutor's office, click of the button, they can open that and they can view everything. So it's really the back end, right? It's an awesome camera, the hardware's phenomenal, but it's also the ease of use with evidence.com, how to manage and share evidence. The package includes a redaction studio tool. Redaction is a great way to be able to automate more of that manual process of maybe dragging a box along the video to mask a face or a license plate or a computer. So that's built into this. So it's a real big time saver versus somebody manually redacting an hour-long or 2-hour-long video. So that's built into this as well. So the importance of the chain of custody and the compliance with digital evidence is critical, right? So that's I think where we shine is evidence.com and the power of the cloud. So, ROI, it's big for us because, we know that this isn't cheap stuff, but the value you get for these tools, reducing liability, that's why tasers are so critical. At the end of the day, a taser can save a life, right? So having body cameras reduces that agency liability through transparency, incontestable evidence. It's not a he said, she said anymore. It's on the video. Automating that redaction I touched upon. So there's a lot of time saving in that, and that's important as far as making sure there's safeguards in place with people's privacy. ALPR, like I've mentioned, that automatic license plate readers to identify stolen plates or warrants, drastically improves solve rates and community safety. Drone as a first responder I touched on is really creating that situational awareness and de-escalation opportunities before people are maybe on the ground. Real-time awareness, like I said, the GPS and live streaming, providing more situational awareness or realizing, hey, I don't need to send additional resources because I can see that officer has this under control. And then the force multiplier is really just putting everything together. It's kind of like Amazon, right? How Amazon now has acquired Ring and Alexa and all of it kind of integrates together, and it just, at the end of the day, it makes your lives easier and safer. So the total investment is 1.729, and it's over a 10-year period. So basically taking that total cost, spreading it out, billing to the agency once a year, about $172,000 a year. And we've been working with Chief. We've done quite a few quotes and different options, and at the end of the day, we would love to partner with you. And there's over $550,000 in savings that we've provided to the agency to help get this executed by the end of the year. So proud of that. Appreciate Chief and Thomas and Captain's commitment to seeing this across the finish line. So that's high level about the kind of the numbers side. But I also wanted to highlight at the bottom here some key value drivers, which a lot of people ask me about, hey, if you guys discontinue a camera in a few years, do we have to go buy 30 new cameras? And what's built into this bundle is what we call the Technology Assurance Plan, also known as TAP. And it's nice because it provides automatic refreshes of the body cameras every 2.5 years. So that means if we come out with maybe the Axon Body 5 in a couple years ago, you guys would automatically get that at your 2.5-year mark. And so we ship you 30 brand new cameras, you got to send your old stuff back, and we do that every 2.5 years for the life of the 10-year contract. On dash cameras, we would refresh you every 5 years, so you'd get obviously dash cameras on day one, a refresh at the 5-year mark, and then another refresh at the 10-year mark. So body cameras quickly evolve. They're kind of like cell phones. Every few years we're putting out a better camera with better battery life and audio and video quality. So you're staying up to date with the technology, you're avoiding price increases. And then the dash cameras have more of a 5-year useful life, so that way we'd refresh you every 5 years. On the drones, you'll get refreshed every 3 years on that as well. So obviously technology quickly evolves, so to have those safeguards in place and to really future-proof your technology is huge. Like I said, unlimited storage, set it and forget it for the next decade for all your Axon devices. 10-year warranty coverage. Like I said, I'm big on customer service. I know how critical if a camera goes down. Oftentimes I get asked, how fast, Travis, are you going to ship us a new camera? I'll make it my mission to get you a camera as soon as I can. It's usually 1 to 2 days. I will overnight a camera to you, and you guys can send your old camera back, because I never want to have an officer out there without a body camera or a taser. So that's my commitment to you. 10-year warranty coverage, and that's really no questions asked. If anything goes down, ship it back, we'll send you a new one. And then licensing for the entire agency. And there'll be permissions that you can set. So, you can set it where, hey, I want my everyday patrol officer to view maybe their own body camera, but they can't see anybody else's, or they can't redact. We'll help you set up all that when our team comes on site. And I'll mention that I don't just drop 30 body cameras and some dash cameras at your door and say, hey, give us a call if you have any questions setting it up. I firmly believe this is an investment, and I want to make sure you guys are set up on day one. So our team will come out. Usually it's a former chief or sheriff who's been intimately involved with Axon, maybe at their prior agency. So the team will come out, they'll set up the body cameras and docks, they'll train you on how to actually use the cameras, and then they'll spend a good chunk of the day on evidence.com and how to build a case, how to redact, how to share evidence. And then the same thing for our dash camera team. So they'll come out, they'll install the Axon dash cameras, they'll train you. The bundle includes professional installation, so we don't use third-party outfitters. Our team who built the system will come out and set up and install the dash camera systems as well. So, closing my side of things, we're committed to Coffeyville. We wouldn't be the market leader if we did not provide the support and the resources. Like I said, we are committed to making sure you guys succeed, because my kind of thing is that there's only 18,000 police departments in the country, and if we start failing or not holding up our end of the bargain, a lot of the small agencies talk to the big agencies, and all of a sudden we don't have a customer base, we don't have a business. So committed to the support, the product, the service, and making sure we're set up for success on day one. So that's my kind of spiel, my take. Appreciate you guys listening. I know I throw a lot at you, but I'll kick it over to Braden, and he's going to walk you through a little bit more about the DFR side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Council, I'll be quick. I appreciate the time. Just want to talk through a couple things of why drones is a big part of the package and why it matters to Coffeyville. A little bit of background is I'm the drone representative for every agency in Kansas, from 1 officer to 100 officers throughout the state. So I have the pleasure of working with quite an amount of agencies throughout the entire state, and just wanted to go over a real kind of high level of, why drones for the city of Coffeyville here. So we've been working on these projects with Chief and the leadership of the police department for quite a while. A couple things that we identified, right off the bat is Chief has decided he wanted to include 1 drone in the back of a patrol vehicle and 1 drone installed on one of the rooftops in an identified location central to the central part of the city. And what that looks like is essentially we have the ability to pull in the 911 calls that come in within the city of Coffeyville, and then with dedicated pilots with the agency that are going to be chosen between the fire department and the police department, we can have one of those pilots authorize the drone to launch autonomously to that 911 call that comes in, and then essentially from there provide live intel of what the event is that's going on and be able to see that in real time. And then, as Travis mentioned, this is a bigger kind of spoke of a bigger wheel for Axon, is all of that's going to integrate into the same place with all of the body camera and car camera recordings go. All of this is backed by Skydio, who is the leader in the American-made space for drones. So really future-proofing the program of having that American-made NDAA compliance is only going to future-proof the program for the city of Coffeyville. So why does this matter? Couple pieces, as I know Chief did at the beginning of this call, and throughout his leadership as Chief for Coffeyville, is right. He identified that Coffeyville historically had been one of the highest crime places in Kansas. And you guys in leadership have done a great job as driving that risk down, but we want to be another tool to help you guys drive that risk down. And so what does that look like? Is that a drone is the first responder has the ability, the majority of the time, for your high priority calls, to beat an officer or a firefighter out onto that call. Now, why is that important? Is we can now, on somebody's worst day, we can slow that call down a good amount. So we can now get eyes on site to see, does that individual have a knife, or is this just a mental health situation, or is this more a high profile situation where we need to reallocate additional officers to support backup? Or for fire, maybe it's we can identify the hot spots before going into a building to provide better support. So for those high profile situations, we're able to get a drone on site in less than 90 seconds the majority of the time to slow that situation down, provide safer tactics, and help with better de-escalation. Now, on the latter side of that, there's a lot of times, right, where maybe we get a call that comes in that's a low priority call, where we can reallocate officers out there in the field to other situations. So we've seen across the country that 1 in 4 of the low priority calls we can clear by getting a drone on site, realizing maybe this is something that we can reallocate an officer to a more high profile case. So this is not designing something that's going to cause additional staffing and resources, but actually reallocate those resources to more high priority situations and clear those lower priority calls. A couple more pieces, because I know one of the big things, right, is the transparency between the body cameras we proposed tonight, the in-car cameras, and then the drones. Chief mentions in his opening statement, we do provide a transparency dashboard, something Wichita Police Department is using today, where all of those flights can become public to where you can actually see not the recording and the sensitive information behind it, but I can see what flight happened that day and the reason behind that flight. So the police department and all public safety can provide that transparency of what they are doing during these flights throughout the city, while still not showing that sensitive information that does need to be a bit more sensitive out there. So here's kind of what that looks like real quickly. I can see now in the city of Wichita what flights happened today and throughout this week. Not those recordings, of course, but I can see the breadcrumb trail of where that went and what they were looking to accomplish at that time. So that this is designed to be a safety tool, but not to be over abused in your guys' city for any of those concerns. Last real quick piece is this is something that's being heavily adopted. So you guys are not by any means going to be the first agency to come on board. Just to give you kind of an example of where we started at the beginning of the year versus where we are at now. Over 78 agencies today are using Skydio drone as a first responder throughout the country today. And that does not even include just the drones and the back patrol vehicles that agencies have trusted Skydio since 2014. But the docs actually installed out there in the fields. And we started right at the beginning of 2025 of 145 drone as a first responder docs throughout the country, and are now at 232 by the end of this year of docs out there in the field today and making cities safer. So again, as I mentioned, this is not something that is brand new, but something that most agencies throughout the country are adopting today. And just a couple real life impacts. I know we have a couple guys on my side on the call. Mr. Vern Lee is on the call here. That actually is a retired captain for Chula Vista that ran DFR, as well as Phil Gonsack was a retired chief for his agency. So wanted to, of course, open up the floor when you guys see fit for any questions. We're here to support you guys and fill in any other gaps or questions that we can. Appreciate the time.
I do have a couple of questions. Does the drone have a night IR capability?
Yes, sir. It absolutely does. So that front-facing gimbal is going to have FLIR thermal built into that. It also has a zoom camera that goes up to 148x zoom, so it can read a license plate at over 800 feet away. And then has the standard camera with that live streaming capability as well.
So from altitude, it could identify, follow, and track someone who is running and trying to evade on foot, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. It does have both with that thermal and zoom capability combined. It does have that power to still stay tactical, right? But be able to identify and search and find that person. So it's used all the time for trying to, of course, track somebody down that maybe you're in a pursuit with. And on the latter side, we see a lot of, mental health situations where maybe somebody dealing with a mental health situation or an elderly person walked out into a wooded area or so forth. It's also used for the search and rescue side of it as well.
Okay, thank you. Another question. There are several references throughout the purchase agreement to network access. So the question is, as far as that network access is concerned, does that fall on Axon, or is that the responsibility of the city, or is it a partnership?
So it's all cloud-based. We do not have access to any of that data. So every bit of data that Coffeyville is utilizing with Axon and Skydio, we do not have that access to. It's all on servers and backup servers throughout the country. So we provide all of the security, both with the drones, body cameras, and car cameras, without having access to any of that footage for the privacy concerns.
Okay, and one more question. I think is probably more appropriate to be directed to Chief Bromley. The purchase agreement, and I'll refer to paragraph 8.0, refers to a free trial period. It doesn't specify how long, but my question is, based on your personal visits and assessment, do you think it's even necessary to execute that portion of the agreement, or should we just go ahead and execute the purchase agreement?
So I have visited with departments that have this program. The drone as a first responder. Based on everything that I have personally seen and witnessed firsthand, Thomas was with me, as well as the communications that I've had with other police departments that are operating it, it's not actually needed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure other commissioners have questions. I'm through. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
I have a few questions. In the presentation, you talked about the refresh of the equipment, and the body cameras were 2.5 years, car cameras 5 year, drone was 3 years. What happens if they stop functioning between refresh? What's the warranty?
Yeah, good question. 10-year warranty coverage, so that's kind of nice because even if maybe we're not quite at your 2.5-year mark to maybe get you the latest body camera, if your current camera goes down, ship it back and we'll send you a new one, no questions asked. Exactly. So whatever model, piece of hardware you have, it's covered.
Okay.
It's just you're going to get updated 2.5-year, 5, and 3 on the drones.
Yeah.
Very important. That is.
Okay, I want to.
Critical, obviously, because it's still, even though it's waterproof and very durable, sometimes things go awry. So you're covered for the life of the contract.
Okay, I want to clarify between warranty and damage. And like the body cameras, say if an officer gets in a scuffle with a suspect, lands on their chest on the concrete, smashes the camera, it quits working, who pays for that?
Ship it back and no charge to the agency.
Okay.
So we would replace it, yeah.
That's normal, within normal wear and tear.
And we've had.
No, it may not be normal wear and tear if it's
Well, but if it's-
caused by something like that.
Well, but I think that would be built into the system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They know that it happen.
I assume it's a tough camera. I just know at what extent does the warranty
it is
end
very-
and like a suspect smashes a camera, throws it down, damages it, then who pays for it? Okay.
Yeah, no, it would not be on the agency. Yeah, ship it back, we'll send you a new one. We know police work is rugged, like these things aren't just sitting on a desk.
Yep.
But it's a very durable camera. We've had use cases where an Axon body camera is at the bottom of a pond for 2 days. They find it,
Yeah.
they dock it, it still works. All the video goes up to the cloud. So,
Okay.
but,
So
yes.
I'll assume on my next question, if a drone launches in really bad weather, meaning 60-mile-an-hour winds, and it launches and it smashes into a tree, it won't launch. It won't let it launch.
Yeah.
Okay.
The officer, whoever's going to control that, has to initiate it, so they're gonna know the cloud cover, they're gonna know the wind deeps, whether it's safe to fly or not.
Okay. My next question is, under the assumption that you love this for 10 years, what happens at the 10-year point? The price now is approximately 100, what was that, 174,000 a year? Well, 172. What happens to that price at year 10? And can we already know that and look at what it might be then and work out that agreement? Or is
So
it?
you want to do a 20-year?
No, well, possibly. I mean, you got. I mean, I think.
No, not
This
yet.
season. No. Well, I will say, like, 10-year contracts are becoming more and more popular with Axon because I think agencies trust us. They
Yeah.
know we're not going anywhere.
I think what I'm asking is,
Yeah,
in 10 years, is it going to be 300 grand
I
a
see
year?
what happens at the end of 10 years. So what's nice about the 10-year and having the hardware refresh at the end of the 10 years is that when assuming you're happy with our product and service at the 10-year mark, you would just be renewing the licensing and storage because I'm going to ship you out all new hardware. So it is kind of nice to get ahead of that because we average maybe 5 to 6% each year with inflation. So agencies that don't have that refresh at the end of their contract, they're likely having to pay for the updated hardware at that end of that contract, if that makes sense. So,
that makes sense.
yeah, so.
So it's probably most likely going to be 300,000 a year in 10 years. That's what you're kind of saying.
No, I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. so
Okay,
I'm-
we don't need
But,
it. He's saying 5%
We will
per year.
always, given you're
It's
gonna be on
10
the
years.
platform.
Yeah,
We'll
there's a
get
lot
that
that happens in 10 years. So I don't think we can hold you to the same price, no. But
Well, I'm not saying that.
I
No,
see you as approaching us at year 8, 7 or 8, and then renegotiating for
Yeah,
the
I mean,
next.
there's a lot
And
of
if we want
agencies
to,
that,
yes, okay.
That's what I thought.
yeah, a lot of agencies, like, it doesn't mean if, you're locked into 10 years and you can't add anything, or you can't, a lot of agencies renew early, right? So
That's
I will,
That's
if
what I
I'm
was
still your
thinking.
account manager,
Yeah.
knock on wood, I know that's a long ways down the road, but, we'll stay in touch with you, obviously. It's not a sign a contract and you never hear from Travis again. I will be intimately involved with you guys.
Right.
And I will probably come to you maybe a year or two before, and maybe there's something we want to add to the contract and do a new one, and let's lock in the 2034 pricing,
Right.
and avoid 5 or 6%. Does that make sense? So it's
Yep.
Yes.
That makes
where,
perfect
we're
sense.
flexible, and, sometimes I'll make the first year on your new contract what you're already budgeted for if we renew early, so that way you don't have to go back to the city and ask for more money or what have you. So, we're very flexible on that type of thing.
Good to hear.
Yeah, we know budgets are tight, and, COVID, I think, unleashed this whole, we've got to be flexible with the agencies, with budgets, and so, yeah, we appreciate that.
I do have one more question. I'm looking at the notes that Commissioner here's been scribbling. I'm sure she has some questions. I do have one more though. Yeah. Throughout the presentation, there was reference not only to police, but for other issues as well. And one was mentioned was fire. So the proposal, the resolution as written, it specified just the tail end for a public safety camera bundle for the Coffeyville Police Department. Might we assume that that also extends to the fire department under specified conditions? Or is this going to be exclusively a police asset?
So this is going to be a first responder asset, and it will also be utilized if we have, for example, a storm come through, ice storm, tree branches fall on power lines. We have no problem launching a drone, if the weather permits, to be able to inspect those lines for the electric.
It's
All
for
right.
public safety.
Absolutely.
Public safety issues combined.
For the
Thank
fire
you.
department, the application would be if a structure fire came in at 3 a.m, the drone would launch about the time they're getting into their truck and orbiting on scene at the structure fire, being able to convey real-time video back to the fire captain, allowing him to determine whether or not he needs to do an all-call in or is it a house on fire, or is it a brush pile behind the house?
Okay, thank you.
So it will be utilized for everybody.
Everybody.
Good, thank you very much.
This morning, when Chief O'Connor was on the radio, and he was talking about this, and all of this in a very short time, he did mention the utilization of how it would help all the other departments.
Yeah, and our unique location with rail traffic, with the refinery, with the highway,
Yes.
there's always the potential for a accident involving a tanker, whether it be a rail or a semi or possibly a gas line. This tool would be able to go down into the field and actually observe the placard number on that particular vehicle to convey back to whoever's in charge of that scene what they're actually dealing with, as opposed to sending somebody physically down there to look.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I think it'd be important to note to touch on the financial aspect, and perhaps either Quinn or Marty can speak to that budget line item and balance available. Maybe that's something that Marty could come up and address. But Chief Bromley already mentioned the grants. We have several grant options that are out there. Some of them are multiple months to get. And so we've been waiting for several months on this, trying to figure out those grants, figure out the money situation. Where can we ensure the funding for this? And so we made the decision that we need to move forward. As Chief Bromley said, our current provider for both our interview rooms and dash cameras is essentially going to be obsolete. There's no support for it. They're going down. It's kind of a matter of it's not if, it's when they're just going to be not functional anymore. And so we're really feeling that need to get up and going here. Of course, the not till I think you said March is when that setup would happen. So we still have a few months. We're hopeful that our things will continue to work. On the other hand of this, we expect, and Commissioner already is aware of this, we have a sales tax that is coming due that has been 100% towards the hospital and EMS. And the staff is proposing, after 20 years of that being focused on the hospital and EMS, that we go in and add to that emergency services. So both fire and PD. We'll have a work session probably in March to start kicking off those conversations about applying for that. That sales tax will be on a special election in August. Some laws that have changed around special election. And so we believe that we'll have funding there as well. That's not intended to completely fund this program, but to be another source for funding. Obviously, those sales tax lasting 10 years in itself. If for some reason, again, to highlight this, Chief already mentioned that, sales tax doesn't happen, we have problems with reserves, that is built into that contract to end if the city can't pay. We're not locked into 10 years and, oh no, what do we do? Because we don't have those funds. Marty, you want to speak to the Fund 500 here?
Yeah.
So Fund 500, and commissioners are already aware of this, but just for the benefit of the public, is our general reserve fund. And so when we set the budget this past year, we did earmark money up front to cover about 2 years worth of these payments out of Fund 500. So the intention was to give us the kind of the runway to one, go after the different grant money that's available out there to help offset the cost of the program, and then two, also give us time to make deliberations about the upcoming sales tax that Mr. Brubaker had mentioned. So, but apart from that, that is the intention for right now. So that's why you see the fund balance there. That's the current funds available, the 2.5 million. Obviously, we don't need to spend anywhere near that for this particular project this year, but we do have assets at our disposal to cover this for the time being.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I do have one more question, Chief. Just, you, in your presentation, you talked about the recent officer-involved shooting. That been from last year?
Yes.
In August, okay. So, and then that's when your conversations began about some of this equipment. Just for the people listening and for those reporting on this, how would, if you had had this already, how much better would it have been for you and those officers?
And it's hard to describe it to the viewers since they didn't get to see the actual video
Yes,
that you were privileged to. But it would have provided audio,
okay,
some clarity and definition of hand placements on where the suspect had his hand on the firearm, our editing and the ability to actually present that footage in a better package that didn't take a lot of man hours. So we would have been saving time as well with that editing software. And when I say editing, there would be some things that we would have to, because of the trauma, people don't want to see blood and gore, especially the family of the suspect. So yeah, that would have all played a part into it. Additionally, we were fortunate to have the patrol car placed in the manner when that situation took place in front of that car. Absent that patrol car, there would have been no video. There might have been some audio from the audio pack, but we would have been relying on the independent witness and what video that the state KBI was able to obtain from businesses nearby. Absent of any of that, and visiting with attorneys, etc., the family would have filed a lawsuit, and we would have been going through that civil process. Fortunately for us, we had some video, and that was able to mitigate that civil liability for the city of Coffeyville.
I want to add to that. People reach out. Of course, we see things in social media and media in general. There is an expectation that we already have body cams.
Yep.
When people think of interactions like that, they immediately say, pull it out, let's see it, we want to know. And when we don't have it, there's also then this idea that somehow we're holding something back, or we don't want to share, we don't want to know. So this is much benefit to our officers and their safety, as to the public, and that transparency idea of what they expect. Through our through attorneys and our unions, there's representation for our officers as well. You're then pulling officers off the street for months and months of that what has to happen, rightfully so, to figure out. So the more information you have, the more audio, it shrinks what has to happen there as well.
Absolutely.
So we are already a small force, and if we have 2 or 3 officers that are, you have to go home until we know what happened, that's problematic for us.
That's correct.
It's just good for the city,
Yeah,
That's correct.
absolutely.
rather than having the city tied down in unsubstantiated allegations against police officers, their conduct, use of force. So just for that very purpose in today's world, we should have everything that is available to help mitigate that.
That's right.
And I apologize for my voice. It's this Kansas weather, cold and 32 degrees below zero one day and 70 the next. It's not working well for me.
Thank you for
Thank
answering
you.
that question. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, if there are no other questions, I will move to approve Resolution R-25-140 as presented.
And I'll second it.
Motion is made by Mayor Maples, seconded by Vice Mayor Van Oster to approve Resolution R-25-140 as presented. Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
Mayor Maples.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you so
For
much.
everything.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the time.
Thank you.
Look forward to
Thank
the Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night. All right, bye.
We do appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
You know who that is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and I will leave this set up for.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for doing it.
Thank you.
You all for everything you do.
Yes, we appreciate you. All right, now, Resolution R-25-141, a resolution to authorize the issuance of a purchase order to Sturvalent Incorporated to provide an upgrade to the SCADA software system for the City of Coffeyville Electric Utilities. Superintendent of Electric Generation, Jonathan Carson, will make comments. Good evening.
Good evening, Commission.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Okay, John Carson, Generation Superintendent. Actually, items 2 through 4, okay, they're all 3 pieces to this puzzle, okay, to complete it. The first one on the agenda is the surveillance software portion of the SCADA upgrade. I'll give you a brief reading of the background here. The Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, or SCADA, software system at the electric utility was last upgraded in 2012.
Oh, goodness.
The system gives communication, command, and control functions to the City of Coffeyville's electrical infrastructure and the transmission assets in the 6 substations located throughout the city. The system is crucial to the reliability of our electrical system. Surveillance software. Surveillance is the company that's the software portion of the SCADA control. The background on why we chose Surveillance. The software doesn't care what infrastructure that you have on the back end. The choice to use Surveillance was the most cost-effective because it can utilize some of our infrastructure that's already in place at the substations throughout the city. A breakdown of how it operates. Let me read you some. Okay. With Surveillance, you can control the critical network operations with convenience. The most trusted provider of advanced distribution management system and substation automation for electric, oil and gas, renewable energy, and transmission of utility across the globe. Over 700 utilities in 40 countries rely on Surveillance platform to effectively operate, monitor, analyze, restore, and optimize operation. By supporting critical utility operations with a fully integrated solution, our customers have significantly improved operational efficiencies, customer satisfaction, and network reliability. This software system will actually just replace our old legacy Siemens software 4700 RTU-based SCADA system. Items 1 through 12 on this breakdown quote, those are the bare bones, 1 through 12 comes, you get all that included, and it's on page 7 or page 6. At the end of line item 12 shows you that the cost of this is $126,576. Okay, items 13 through 21 are just add-ons, okay, that bells and whistles to the system, okay, things that we would like for the city of Coffeyville, after line items 1 through 12, are items 18, 19, and 20. And the total of that comes to 168,000 and some change, so I asked for 170,000 just to make sure that I got it covered. Item number 3 on the list will kind of give you more in-depth of what the overall project looks like, and I should have maybe asked to make item number 3 item number 2, but I'll know for next time. Okay.
That's all right. That's all right.
So that's what I have for item 1 or item 2, but the next portion of this TOTH engineering, which is item number 3. The project scope of this would be to utilize, in our 6 electrical substations, we have SCL relays, or Schweitzer. SCL stands for Schweitzer Engineering Laboratory, okay? Some of the, like North Industrial Park is completely upgraded, brand new Schweitzer relays, RTAC communication, so that we can get back to our SCADA system via our fiber infrastructure, and all the relays, the feeder relays and the protection relays inside of the substations will then be hardwired to the RTAC, which then communicates with the SCADA software via fiber from each substation. In the license agreement, the bare bones comes with just 2 user stations. The reason why I wanted to add line item number 18, line number 17 adds 5 more user stations. Now we can have 2 operator stations, 1 at each generation plant, and then an operator station inside of each substation so that we can operate from the field also. So that was one of the add-ons in the surveillance proposal. Utilizing TOTH engineering firm would just be here as a third party to help program these relays to the new RTAC infrastructure and make sure that every substation works properly and that our electrical infrastructure does not impact any of our residents as we're cutting this system over. We will be implementing this on the side of our old Siemens systems as it still runs. We're going to utilize the serial ports on each one of the feeder relays that will then, be hardwired and bringing the information via 435 serial over to the RTAC. That information is then populated to our server in the SCADA system, and that's how the operators get the information from each substation into the operator station and then make commands of what needs to happen in our electrical infrastructure from there. All 5 substations, I keep saying 5 because the 6th one, NIP, was already updated before we had went to tackle updating the SCADA. So the other 5 will be brought up to the specs of NIP, okay? And then we will implement those into the new server in the new SCADA room. We chose, like I said, choosing surveillance was a pick because it was the most cost effective for our infrastructure and utilizing the parts that we already have, okay? Going with TOTH engineering firm as the firm to help us is they seem to partner with the small municipalities better. I attended the surveillance conference in Denver, Colorado. I seen surveillance SCADA at its biggest platform, United Power in Denver, the city of Denver. There's over 76 substations, 20 operators around the clock, a very big system. TOTH is, engineering is responsible for a few in our area. Fort Riley, one of them, Nixon, Missouri, about the closest. So utilizing them to help us with implementing our new system, thought process there was, since they're a smaller company and they base around smaller municipalities like ourselves, the ease of having contract and third-party help and being located just in Springfield, Missouri was an asset to pick there. So the breakdown of the proposal of the work that'll be done in each substation and how we're going to get the information back is detailed in the proposal here. I'm willing to answer any questions that y'all have about that to make sure that you completely understand. The ability to be able to work beside the infrastructure that we already have. So in October of 2028, when our B South substation merger to the 125 MVA transformers take place, we're going to be able to implement this system the same time. We'll be able to work and test on it from now until then as the old system is still running, so that we can flawlessly cut this over and nobody will see any deviations to their power. The third item on the list is the outage management system, okay, Outify, and that basically is a way to get information into us now when we have power outages. Right now, I'd like to read you something of how things work. During outages, staff and dispatch are overwhelmed with phone calls, which slows down troubleshooting and leads to communication gaps with customers. We also do not have a clean or efficient way to notify residents during an outage. Instead, employees call back one at a time to confirm whether power is restored. They call in. We have to refer them to an answering machine right now, okay, so they need to leave messages so that we can have our phone lines to call the distribution shop, to set up repairs, okay. After power is restored and everything is back in service, then we, one at a time, call back every person that's called in and left a message to make sure power is restored. Sometimes we get most of those in the same day. Sometimes those individuals are at work or harder to reach, so it takes a few days to make sure that everybody's power is restored. As far as how Outify works, Miss Amy, she's kind of the brains behind our outage management system now. She's got, she's helping implement it, and we have a video that, nothing like what you just seen, but just a short 2-3 minute video to show you how it works, okay? And that's going to clear up a lot of questions. And then after that, you're welcome to ask me anything on all three items, and I'll do my best to try to make it to where you can understand. Sometimes I forget that not every, I talk about stuff that I expect that everyone to understand, so I will answer questions.
You're doing great.
Just as a side note, we do not currently have an outage management system. Their typical outage management systems can range hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, we're not a big utility, we're a small municipality, we need something affordable, so we found one that uses AI, and it makes it, the dream is achievable with this one, so if you guys want to watch the video, I'll play it now.
Sure.
I don't think it's working. No volume. Sorry.
This is Justin with Outify. I'll try to keep this short, but I'm making a quick video for you guys that you can share with the commission in December. So maybe I'll just do a quick run through of how you guys can get help with call volume during power outages, how a customer of Coffeyville, like a resident, could report a power outage, how our system is going to help you figure out which customers know the cause if they saw something useful, how you guys could adjust the area, send a message to everyone affected, and then update the outage map on your website. So I'm on the home page here. I'm on my laptop. This is mobile friendly. You can do it on your phone.
phone as well. But you can see right now, there's a power outage taking place. And let's say in this case, you guys start getting a ton of phone calls during the power outage. What you guys will do is you'll come here and you'll press this button and turn on what we call outage routing. And as soon as you press that button, the phones stop ringing. And at that point, we will give your residents a message that says that you're aware of the outage, that you're working on it, and they can check out the outage map on the website for up-to-date information. And then as customers leave voicemails, our system's going to determine which customers have helpful information. And if we find out that a customer knows the cause based on their voicemail, we then populate that on a map so that you guys know where to go during an outage. So let's show you the map. This is the city boundaries of my city here. You can see right now so far 3 customers have reported the outage. The reason why the icons are different, I'm just doing this so I can show you guys what the system is able to do. This purple flag here is someone to be marked as a medical customer if they're on oxygen. And so this is a customer you probably want to pay attention to during an outage. If they need any help, you can focus on them. But this icon here is different because this customer said that he knew something, that he knew the cause. So Justin, I actually reported a fake outage. I did it via text, and I said that I saw a vehicle accident and I saw a car hit a pole. And so our system determined that as useful. We then populated a map so that now your crew's going to focus on Justin and head in his direction. Same thing works again on voicemails. Like I said, if customers leave a voicemail and our system determines that it's a helpful voicemail and that they know the cause, we then populate the map like this. This blue flag is just a customer that reported the outage. They didn't know anything, but they reported it, so we populate them because they're also out of power. So now the map's populated, you guys know where to go. Let's update some information on this outage. Let's put in the ETR. So let's say you guys think the estimated time of restoration will be, let's just do 2:30 today. And the cause, this customer said that he saw a vehicle accident, so let's select vehicle accident as the cause. And then let's adjust the incident area. 2 ways you could do this. You could select a circuit. So if a whole circuit went out, you could select a circuit and we populate all customers on that circuit as out of power. Or if it's just a small little one, you guys could do something like this and just draw the area. And you selected 414 customers in this area as out of power. Go to the next step. And then let's send a message out to all of these people. So you can type a message, or what I really like is using AI to help you come up with a message. And the reason why this is so useful is because a lot of our best users are out in the field working, and they don't have time to craft a perfect message. So if you hit generate AI notification, it'll help you come up with a message, and you can change a couple things if you want. But if you like that message that AI came up with, you can say yes and send it. So now what you've done is you've figured out where the outage is, you've adjusted the area, and you just sent a message out to all of these people. Now, some people still have landlines, so if they can't receive a text message, our system will give them an automated phone call. So even if you have customers with landlines, we'll still reach out and leave them a voicemail with this message.
Yes.
And then finally, let's switch gears and come to the outage map that we'll put on your website. So this is an example outage map. You can see here, this is that outage that I just created and adjusted the area on. Customers can click this and they can see the estimated time of restoration, how many people are affected, and the cause. And that seems like customers really like knowing those 3 things. And so this is where we're going to direct them to come during outages to get up-to-date information, so they're not just calling you guys. If you want to see one in action, I understand this is a different state. It's not Kansas, but this is a client of ours in Washington. Let's pull up their power outage map. It would look something like this. Yeah, they're not having an outage today. But it would look something like this. We did that on your website. Customers can come here and interact with it. And then below the map, we tell customers how they can report a problem or what number to call. So this is an example of what an outage map would look like on your guys' website. So hope this is helpful, and if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. So, yeah, thanks.
That's a good one. I like
Yeah,
that.
and that works directly with Surveillant, the new SCADA software. They work hand in hand, so when surveillance was, you can take in information from here. The system, with the new SCADA system, will then trigger the operator to know directly, what areas we're working in. We can get, we're not going to have to drive the line as far. We're going to be able to isolate the problem quicker and get on our feet quicker to fix it, okay? Also, the control aspects of it is the same. They can talk to any relay to any of the substations. We can set that up, and we will. We've been working on this SCADA proposal upgrade since June, July. I wanted to make sure that we didn't leave anything unturned, okay, and make sure that everything is captured and that we can push forward without a shadow of a doubt, knowing that we'll have a reliable electrical infrastructure when we're completed. So it took this long to get it here, but I hope you guys understand that some due diligent hours have went into this to make sure that it's correct.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
On the quote, page 10, item 13, specifies that the quote does not include the price for GIS Wizard license or import services. Could you talk to what is that, and do we need it? And if we do, how much is that going to be? What kind of additional cost is that?
Is this on the surveillance quote, sir? Which,
Yes, it's on page 10, item note number 13.
page 10, note number 13. Okay, yeah, note number 13 is if we were choosing the surveillance outage management system, then we would need to have our GIS Wizard and import services up to speed on our end, like our GIS has to report to the, go ahead.
So we're not going to do that?
No.
Surveillant offers their own outage management system, but it was going to add an extra 200,000, or was it 150,000, to the package. This outage management system that we have that will work with everything else is only 14,400 a year.
Thank you, we want to do that.
Right, I mean,
Right. And it just
Thank you.
didn't make
we're
sense.
trying to be fiscally responsible.
200.
That's a
appreciate
huge difference.
Yeah.
And it can't be that much better.
Just a few more
No.
steps, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what infrastructure you have, Outify will work. On
Okay.
surveillance, you would need to be surveillance from front to back, and it would
Okay.
be so much more money up front to get the infrastructure right. It's kind of how we're utilizing this Outify outage management system, because they don't really care. They just want to get the information out to you so that you can go to where the problem is and restore power as quick as possible.
Thank you.
I like the communication with the customer from the beginning to the end.
Right.
I think that's a huge asset.
Right
They
now, we're
appreciate it
using
so much.
Facebook, and it doesn't reach everybody. It
Right.
doesn't reach everybody, and it doesn't reach them necessarily quickly. This
Right.
one would allow us to reach them much more quickly. And something John didn't talk about was the fact that when you have an outage, you're directing people to call the power plant. Well, you only have 2 to 3 people working at the plant 24/7. So if you get a big outage like we had the windstorm earlier this year, where you have over 400 people out, people are getting frustrated. They can't get through. They're not getting information. They don't know that we know that there's an outage. This is going to help address those issues before they might be at work and, oh man, my power's out at home. I better go check on whatever, people tend to worry about that, even though
My deep freeze and it's fine.
even though it's frozen solid. Yes.
Exactly.
Right. This is
Right.
going to allow better communication and Outify, this portion that I've been helping with mostly. Outify also offers templates, and Justin Johnson, who put the video together for us, said that he would work with our communications department. One of the big things is making sure we have accurate phone numbers for all of our accounts, because if you have a bad phone number, it's not going to do what it's designed to do. But he's got templates, and he said that he'd work with myself and our communications department to make sure that we're putting things out there, getting everything lined up in preparation of actual implementation for Outify.
Good.
So,
Awesome.
Customer
Right.
service is very important.
right,
Absolutely.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. One more thing back to line item, basically 2 and 3. On the, B sub north or B sub south and our 70 megawatt customer a day, they're on the old Siemens and Modicon PLC system, okay? It's at the end of its life. We were having some issues with the I/O, false readings, I/O coming in when it really wasn't, triggering breakers opening or transformers having issues and such. We were able to purchase some Modicon infrastructure. I know this sounds funny, but off of eBay, and we were able to get this infrastructure back in working condition, and I feel confident that it'll now make it to 2028 while we work on the side to get our new SCADA system up to speed.
Thank you.
That's
All right.
great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Both very much.
Yep. What? Say that again. How long was the implementation timeline?
We'll be done in October 2028 completely for the whole thing, SCADA, the outage management, everything. That gives us a little extra time, but again, our 70 megawatt customer will be scheduling an outage in October of 2028 for at least 30 days, so we can work this around that and make sure that we get it in place.
Okay,
Good.
that's
Thank
great.
you.
It does not just turn on.
No, that's right. Okay, if there's no further questions, I will, Resolution R25 is a resolution to authorize the issuance of a purchase order to Servalant to provide an upgrade to the SCADA software system for the City of Coffeyville Electric Utility. And that it comes under Resolution R-25-141. And I will move that we approve that. That's the first one.
I'll
of the puzzle.
I'll second that one.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Mayor Maples to approve Resolution R-25-141 as presented. Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
Mayor Maples.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
Okay, there's the first one.
Right. Then I will move, because I went back over it, kind of move to approve the second piece, move to approve Resolution R-25-141 as presented.
42.
42, excuse me.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner Faulkner to approve Resolution R-25-142 as presented. Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
Mayor Maples.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, and then your last piece, I will move to approve Resolution R-25-143 as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner Faulkner to approve Resolution R-25-143 as presented. Mayor Maples.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good Christmas.
For all
Thank
that.
you very much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Yes. Yeah. I'm going to continue. All right. We will now have discussion and action to consider the Planning and Zoning Commission's decision to deny the conditional use permit for 115 West 11th Street. City Manager Ben Brubaker will make comments.
Commissioners, Amber's out, so I wanted to just go over these details. In your packet, you have the Planning Commission staff report with both staff recommendation on there. The Planning Commission did choose to deny that, and so what you have is a discussion on basically, the property owner has submitted a request for commission to look at that, and what we would need, make sure I got that right, an approval or denial of that conditional use permit from you. So you can read through the staff recommendation. You have that in front of you.
Yes.
Any questions? I believe the property owner's here as well, if you have questions about that.
All right, we will give it just a minute and take a vote. Can we give it just?
Yeah.
Oh,
He will be right back.
He will be right back. We're going to give it just a couple minutes and.
okay.
Yeah.
Should I ask?
Yeah.
Would the property owner like to speak? Would you like to speak?
My name's Lee Holt, and I own the property there at 115 West 11th, and just commenting, we spent some money on that property in the last 4 or 5 years renovating the face and putting new windows we had big windows up in the front. It was an old Ford dealership at one time, and for some reason, every 4 months, the great big panes of windows were getting knocked out, so we shrunk the window size, and they're still getting knocked out. As you can see, I've got one out, and I've got the new window sitting there waiting for my carpenter. He's going to be after the first year before he can set the new window in there, but it's sitting right beside it inside. So, but we spent over $50,000 renovating, and I still use that building. Still, I'm in and out of that building every week, a couple, 3 times a day most of the time, and still selling stuff out of it. And I don't understand why all of a sudden they're making us do this. So we had another piece of property there too on Walnut. We had decided to tear that building down, but that's where that EPA crew's working and cleaning up the 2 or 3 blocks there. So, but anyway, that's all I got to say then.
Commissioners, to know, as you know, well, and here comes Commissioner Faulkner. We'll wait for him to come in. Commissioners, to note, we've had people coming in and out of meetings over the last several meetings because of the vacant building registry that commissioners approved and had instructed staff to go and look into options. And so that's why this has come up. This is something the property owner was ultimately trying to avoid the provisions of that ordinance. I did just hear something, and I don't have the particulars that Amber does. That vacant building registry does have a component in there. If there's a business being run out of it, then that does not qualify for the fees within that vacant building. And so I will discuss with Amber and let her know to reach out to the property owner and just make sure that we're not. He's not trying to avoid something that doesn't matter anyways, because if you're running a business out of it, then it does not apply to that vacant. So that may be the case, and I'll have her reach out. As for specifically here with the Planning Commission and their decision, as you can see in there, it's the continual use permit. It's not. It is not coded for storage, and that's what the use was listed as. So. Still need to make a decision from the Planning Commission whether to approve or deny. As a side note to that, I will ask Amber to reach out and verify that that vacant building is, we're not missing something there, that they're going to have to pay a fee that wouldn't apply.
Okay. With that, I'll move to stay with the Planning and Zoning Commission's decision to deny the conditional use permit for 115 West 11th, and move to deny the conditional use permit as stated by the Planning and Zoning.
And I'll second that.
Motion is made by Commissioner Hendricks, seconded by Mayor Maples, to deny a conditional use permit for 115 West 11th Street. Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Van Alster.
Aye.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
Mayor Maples.
Aye. Okay, Resolution R-25-144, a resolution to authorize the issuance of a purchase order to Arthur J. Gallagher and Company for a change order to the premium paid for the electric utilities general liability policy underwritten by James River Insurance Company. Director of Finance Martin Cummings will make comments.
First, I need to apologize because I was reading this all over again, and there was some atrocious grammar in this staff report, so not sure. I'll have to stop letting my 10-year-old proofread my stuff for me.
You're a finance person, not an English major.
I appreciate the pass. Anyway, so basically we just went through a premium audit with James River Insurance Company. In the past, the way this has worked is essentially the city has only reported on the revenues derived from normal utility sales, so regular residential, regular commercial customers. This particular year, we had a new auditor for the company, started digging in, asking some more questions. Come to find out that's not been done correctly, that the intent of the policy is to cover the full scope of electric operations and therefore should be inclusive of all revenues derived from electric operations, regardless as to whether it's a special circumstance like our CRNF electric sales, our power purchase agreement that they have with us, or through some of our other miscellaneous activities like installations, tie-ins, and things like that. So with that said, you guys have copies of that particular, the insurance, the premium audit. And while I want to say Merry Christmas, I have to actually come and ask you guys for an additional $33,357. Essentially, we doubled our revenue base and then basically doubled the premium that goes with it. I was grateful that there was not some leveraged impact, that it was a pretty much a one-to-one uptick in the premium. With that said, staff does recommend the adoption of this resolution to avoid substantial liability exposure if we do not comply with the audit. I have instructed Arthur Gallagher to take this to market immediately. Coming into this, obviously only having not quite 2 years of history under me on this, was my understanding from Arthur Gallagher that we've actually been with James River for a number of years, predating even Arthur Gallagher as our broker. So we have been with them more than enough time to take this to market and to make sure that we are getting the best rate possible. It is important to note, as I set that expectation, that this is a niche policy. It is a municipally operated electric utility. So that's why we actually have to carry a supplement, this additional policy outside of our normal general liability policy. So with that, I will be happy to answer any questions.
Do you see this, do you see this additional cost as having any kind of impact on budgets going forward?
Obviously, we'll need to make some adjustments in our budget thinking because this was not part of it when we did it last year. So that there will have to be some discussions had around that later on in the year as we see how the budget, how our spending proceeds against our budget authority. So we will probably have to revisit this at some point.
Okay.
How did we just now catch this? Have we been doing this for several years?
We've been doing this for years this way. So they just decided that the auditor, I'm going to make an assumption here that I can't defend. So just,
okay.
We've had, our past auditors just were accepting the city's reporting. Now, why the city got into the habit of only reporting just the regular utility revenue, I could only guess. But evidently, our past auditors were not very scrutinous of this. We have a new auditor this year, Joseph Fuentes, who was a little more precise in his review. So, unfortunately, that is what it is.
Well, we asked to get fresh eyes.
Well, I didn't ask for their fresh eyes, but they gave them to me anyway.
But to clarify, this is not our auditor of our
No,
financials.
no, this would be
Not the same
no. So this is
No.
so every year we will go through a premium audit with our insurance providers because so in the instance of our general liability policies, those policy years go from July 1 to June 30th. And so we have to provide an estimate on whether it's revenues or whatever it is that policy is written upon. And that what they will do partway through the policy year is say, okay, now that you've finished your year up, we want to see the full 12 months of those historical revenues.
Was the reason because a portion of the revenues is normal utility revenue, and then a portion of it is really a pass-through?
I'm going to assume that was the internal logic used by the city historically. And the underwriter does not agree with that logic. So, I mean, just to give you a scenario, let's say substation B has some malfunction and somebody's car is driving in the vicinity and something explodes and lands on that person's car. And we did not use the revenue derived from substation B to validate our policy.
And I get it,
Yeah.
but a portion of ours is, based on our function, our operating utility, and then that other portion you're talking about is just a wheeling fee pass-through
Yes.
that we don't charge our operating costs for. That's the difference.
There is, but within that wheeling is revenues to be had. So yes, there is the pass-throughs, but there is revenue. And
So are we only considering the wheeling fee the revenue?
No, this is not a net revenue question. This is a total revenue question. And that's the way
Yeah,
that.
excuse it.
So listen, I'm not knocking that it happened. I'm just simply saying this is here it is, and this is what it
Okay,
is.
just go.
Okay, well,
Okay. I'm going to move to approve Resolution R-25-144 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Mayor Maples to approve Resolution R-25-144 as presented. Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
Mayor Maples.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now, Resolution R-25-145, a resolution to submit the fiscal year 2026 Build Grant application to the U.S. Department of Transportation and commit matching funds for the city's truck route reconstruction project. Executive Director of Public Works, Jim Wright, will make comments. Good evening.
Good evening. We'd like authorization to submit for federal fiscal year 26 build grant application and commit matching funds. To receive approval from the city commission to submit this, it's $4.1 million matching funds for a truck route reconstruction. The city has several major truck routes that are in rough shape, continue to decline. These routes carry heavy traffic tied to our major employers, the refinery, manufacturing facilities, and regular freight movement in and out of Coffeyville. The pavement failures are widespread and beyond routine maintenance. The preliminary engineering report completed in December of '25 recommends full-depth reconstruction of the routes. The streets include on the application, our First Street from Central Avenue to Cedar, and 4th Street from Sycamore to Howard, Sycamore Street from East 4th to East Martin, and Sunflower Street from East 8th to East Martin. Reconstruction of these corridors will improve safety, support the industrial businesses, and reduce long-term maintenance costs. The Build Grant is a major federal funding opportunity that can cover a significant portion of the project. To be competitive, the city needs to show that we're ready and willing to partner with the project, including a clear commitment of matching funds. The city's matching funds would be capped at $4.1 million. Full-depth concrete reconstruction is recommended for long-term durability, and the project directly supports our largest employers and regional freight movement. Reconstructing these streets is a high priority. They are failing structurally and have reached a point where patching is no longer particular or practical.
for cost effectiveness. If awarded, the build grant would bring in federal dollars that significantly reduce the burden on Coffeyville taxpayers. Committing to the match now strengthens our grant application and shows the federal reviewers that the city is prepared to move forward. We recommend that you approve this and let us apply for this grant.
And this
guess
grant will
it's-
just be for those streets,
That is correct. That is just for truck routes
just for
only.
that truck, those truck routes.
Correct.
If you recall, Commissioners, early on, so about 18 months ago, we applied for this grant as well. We went through, we had BG do the work, we paid for that engineering work. A variety of things have happened since then. The change in our president, different aspects of those grant fundings, all those issues that have come up, either stalled, delayed, or pushed back. And so we're coming back to it now. We are requesting a little bit less than we did before, with some anticipation to hopefully actually get it versus max out what that grant is. But the work had already been done by BG to do that. So this is something you have already approved. We had to shrink it up a little bit and ask that we go and do it again. This is multi-million dollar from this grant.
Aside from, well, let's assume we do this, is there any, this may be a silly question, but is there would there be any kind of a mechanism in place to tell these drivers to use this routes rather than, like I've seen semis on Buckeye
And on Willow.
and on Willow?
Yes.
Yeah, Willow. I mean, how do we communicate to them, aside from painting a yellow brick road stripe on them, with arrows, trucks only, or truck route, how do we control it?
You stop them. They get
I
stopped.
do
when they're
I do
on
not
it.
have an answer for how you stop them. It's kind of like, how do you fix stupid?
Yeah.
You just,
You can't fix stupid.
you are correct.
Well, if
So
you have designated truck routes and a truck is where it's not supposed to be, they can get a ticket, correct?
But you gotta catch them.
But you gotta catch them.
Correct. That's the thing, is you have to have someone there.
I mean, I live on Willow, and if you see them going down the street, what am I gonna do? By the time I would call anybody, they're gone.
But I do know 98% of the trucks that are in our town do drive on the truck routes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just those few that
There's
cause
that
the,
2% that manages to get off the truck route or lost, not knowing exactly
Yes.
where they
And
are.
that may be it.
So there's
Sure.
some of that. Or there's some of that are making deliveries to places that are not on a truck route.
Right.
But
that's
we
legit.
understand that. That's
Yeah.
legit.
And I do understand too, stepson being a former truck driver, if they're using Google Maps, sometimes it'll send them way off into the boonies on the wrong route.
Well, and if you don't know where you're going and don't know how to read a map and you follow Google, it will take you some places you're not supposed to be.
Be going.
All right.
We'll make sure to add to the minutes very specifically, you can't fix stupid, so that's there.
And say who said it.
Like I said,
That's right.
Do that, okay?
my apologies for the silly question. Yes, you can't fix stupid. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I will move to approve Resolution R-25-145 as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner Faulkner to approve Resolution R-25-145 as presented. Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
Mayor Maples.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Okay, now a discussion on water rates.
I have handouts.
Awesome.
And then colored.
Thank you.
I believe the last meeting, we talked about the funding that was needed to make improvements to the water treatment plant. Also, we discussed our ever-aging distribution system that's going to need some help, and the dollar figures that was going to be required to do that over the next 24 to 36 months. what I have given you here is the cost. There's 2 pages. One of them is from low to high on the cost. The second page is average distance from Coffeyville. But if you notice there, that we've got the water rates for 1,000 gallons, 2,000 gallons, 5,000 gallons. And these include the flat fee or the meter fee are included with these numbers here. So as you see there for 1,000 gallons in Coffeyville, it's $10.74. The next closest would be Pittsburgh at $13.28. Miami, Oklahoma is $16.20. Independence is $16.63 along with an Emporia. Bartlesville is $18.04. Parsons $18.05. Derby $32.06. Chanute $33.60. Bonner Springs $34.21 and Iola $39.98. The graph down below shows the percentages that they are above where we are selling water. And I think we passed out the information to show that we are selling water some years at a loss. So quite frankly, this is just in preparation for what we're going to do in the first month of the years when we come back and ask you to raise our water rates. So, and I don't think that we should try to match anybody in here. I think we need to go through things and look and see what it's going to take us to do what we want to do over the next 2 or 3 years, service the debt we're going to go into to do some of these projects, raise our rates according to that, and also I think Ben mentioned last time we need to start putting something back for in 20 years we're going to have to replace this plant. And by then it's probably looking at $100 million. So
I think you'll see on here that there are some of these cities who have gone through that. They are so high because they are paying off debt service. Chanute water plant, wastewater plant. So the reason you're seeing some of those, and those rates are 2025 rates.
That is correct.
They're going to be having those same conversations there on what their rates are moving forward. I talked to Chanute, and they expect their rates to go. I mean, they're in their middle of those conversations and selling that to their public right now. That those continue to go up. So we cannot carry on the same methodology of the last 12 or 15 years and not have increases. We really ought to be increasing. It'd be great if we can increase small percentages over time versus flat nothing, and you'll have extreme spikes when you have to go hit that. So again, this will be brought at the second meeting in January. We'll have Waterworth in a meeting with there and present that data and what we believe those rates need to go to cover the needs that are both short and long term. Any questions for Jim on those rates? Not pretty.
Pretty self-explanatory right here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, city manager's report.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it right back over to Jim for some updates on street projects, some projects going on, and then we'll invite Quinn up to talk about Phil Cruiser and some of the things Shop with a Cop.
Okay, updates on our projects that we're working on in Public Works. The 2025 street project, which was 6th Street, 7th Street, Stark, Buckeye, 1st Street. That one is all but done. They need to finish up some ditching out on West 6th, West 7th. Also, I believe on Woodland, need to finish a driveway right next to the additional work that we did right there next to the walking trail. The CRMC project, 4th Street, asphalt is complete. Curb and gutter is complete on 4th Street. 1st Street has been removed between Poplar and Buckeye. Rock is brought back in. It's at rock grade. All the curb and gutter has been put back between Poplar and Buckeye. Most of the driveways are back in. A lot of the people are able to access their driveways over the holidays. They plan to get started again next week. Hopefully to have all of 1st Street poured back by the first week in February and move on to other streets. The tennis court sidewalks, the south side had concrete poured today. Hopefully by next week, they'll be moving to the west side to pour the sidewalk over there. Electric has already got the ground anchors in place on the east and west side for the electric, the poles for the lights. There are 12 6-foot deep piers that need to be drilled on the north side in the sidewalk that will support the shade structures. That will happen next. They're projecting to be done by the end of February with all of that. The walking trail, as you know, has been completed. The city will have to get a contractor to complete the stamped and dyed concrete that goes between the walking trail and the back of curb there at Woodland and Buckeye, and also install the ballards. The parking lots for North Park and Sycamore Park, those are slated to begin end of February, beginning of March. 11th and Luark, that's a C-clip project that we had got through KDOT with the intersection improvements, improve the entrances, a little bit of geometric improvements. That's the only section of 11th Street, I believe, a major intersection that has not had any work done to it. I believe that's a 90-10 split with KDOT, and that is going to be going out for bid in October of '26. Storm drain inlets on 11th Street, the contractor was awarded was JKS Construction out of Girard. Pre-construction meeting will be the 5th of January. There's 11 inlets along 11th Street that need to be repaired. The lagoon liner at the wastewater plant, that was a 2024 project. We're getting really close. It's 99% done on the liner. The contractor's waiting on a valve to complete the project. We're hoping by mid-February that will be wrapped up and be completed. The UV lights at wastewater, you guys approved that here a few months ago. We've been working with the supplier, trying to convince them that it will work in what we have with our air supply. And so we've had a contractor help us out, and we've got them convinced that project will begin in June of '26. The Brown Street sewer line, we've got a CDBG grant for that. That is still an environmental review. We have an agreement with Algier Martin to do the design work as soon as the environmental review is complete. The water transmission lines to the reservoir from the water treatment plant. Bids were open in September. Had a pre-construction meeting with Goins Construction out of Joplin, Missouri. Their start date has not been selected, but we believe it'll be sometime in March. They're waiting to get all their materials in before we issue a notice to proceed. 8th Street. Street design is 90% complete. The water relocation bids for the water line there are due back on the 8th of January. And that project is going from Highway 166 to Elm Street on 8th Street. That is a cost share through the state. We're going to replace, it'll be a mill and overlay of the road, but then replacing all curb and gutter and ADA ramps where needed. The driving range, which was a grant through Wildlife and Parks, we sent the bids out. They'll be back opened on January 22nd. Of course, I heard you mention the runway earlier, the engineering. That is still going. It's a 95.5 grant for a mill and overlay on runway 1735. Soccer fields behind the Aviation Museum. Muller's got started this week on hauling in dirt, making the soccer fields up there behind that, because we're making improvements on Gibson Street and extending it. Also, the Feaster Park, the playground equipment grant, we had took delivery of that a couple, 3 weeks ago, and they believe they'll be putting that together and replacing what's up there in January.
Is that it?
It's
Well, there's
amazing.
more, but no.
Is that all you're
Was
gonna
it-
do?
We are working, and hopefully
I'm
that
kidding.
the.
Don't go away.
Well, I know you're not.
Don't
That was-
We hope
that
the
was a
public,
lot.
hope the public sees it, especially on their streets.
It
Every
looks
bit of it.
fabulous.
Don't go away. I have a couple of items for you.
Okay.
First of all, for those who are listening or for the press, I have been asked several times about where Woodland intersects Buckeye, that T intersection where we're doing all that construction work. It's extremely dark, and there's a lot of people have been concerned about that. I did confirm with their city manager that a restoration of a light pole at that intersection is on the plan, and it will be installed at a later date. Okay, item number 2, street lighting across from the opposite the new tennis courts. It is extremely dark there, and I have been told, pardon me, I'm not going to name names or put anybody on report, but some of the residents have been going across the street, accessing that circuit panel and flipping the switch and turning those lights on at night. And it's very bright, and they love it. So there's a lot of light on the street. Well, 2 things. Aside from the fact that that's probably a pretty dangerous activity, someone could get electrocuted. An option, rather than installing going to the expense of putting up a pole, equipment, running a line, an option might just be to put a dusk to dawn sensor switch on one of those lights that would come on and provide nighttime illumination for the street. Also, I would hope it would discourage vandalism on the tennis courts itself. So that's just a suggestion for you and the city manager to chew over.
Okay, thank you.
All right, a few questions. Something I noticed on the east side of the tennis courts. What are you going to do about that? There's that big drop off into the road that looks like it's not good.
Yeah, that's an issue there.
Yeah.
So, Thomas is the one that came up with the solution, and he came up with some plans, and the contractor's going to address that. We're working in conjunction with the electric department. They got to get their conduit in there. Also, we're going to do a stem wall, be a 3-foot wide sidewalk from the back of curb to the stem wall. We're going to have that come up there, and the light poles will be set on top of there. So the top of that stem wall will be 3 foot. It's going to be just a couple, 3 inches below the level of the court. In there, they'll have a set of steps that go up and go in that gate. They're on the east side.
Okay. I knew that was going to be a problem.
Yes, it was a major problem that
You're on it.
Thomas found a solution to.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you,
good.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Something was brought about Willow Street earlier. The Willow Street, when you get south of 11th Street, those railroad tracks there are quite atrocious again.
They still
We
are.
never fixed them.
No,
Yeah.
it's getting worse. So it's almost impassable. And when they did the highway project, all the trucks went over there and
Yep.
damaged that.
My contact that I get a hold of with Watco or SEK Rail, however you want to call it, he's been telling me that they're going to fix those tracks for over a year now. The last time I talked to him, they had all the panels there and were getting ready to get started, and they had a train derailment, and they procured the supplies he had to go fix the train derailment over there, so they had to order them again. So I keep getting told that is going to get started anytime, every time I call. So I think if you guys call,
The more
and all
people
the
that
citizens
call, maybe
call,
they'll just get tired of listening to us.
that could happen.
And they'll fix them.
Yeah, because I have no jurisdiction over them.
No, we don't.
We don't. We
Not
can't
even
do
when I was
anything.
with the county, we didn't. We just had to take them at their word,
When in
and offer to
doubt.
help
Is that a
them whenever
state
they
issue?
came to make the
It's a
repairs.
railroad issue. The railroad's one that's responsible,
do
and we
anything.
can't do anything other than, so.
All right.
I did want to add on that grant, the build grant for truck routes. That will mean that we will have to adjust our, probably not 26, but our 27 and 28 plan with the money that we have. So, we had submitted for these. They didn't go through. We came with commission, several work sessions. Thomas, Jim built out that 5-year plan. So we will have to adjust those. We'll come back here probably spring, summertime, and have another work session about the next few years of street projects in town.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Sir.
Phil Cruiser. This year was our 10th annual Phil Cruiser. We had approximately 234 children, 76 families that we took care of this year, provided a full Christmas for.
I'm sorry, how many?
234 children.
234.
Correct.
That's great. That's bigger than last year.
Yes, and 76 families. We provided full Christmas. December 6th and December 13th were our collection dates. Dollar General was kind enough to allow us to be there to collect at their business for 4 hours. Happened to be a very cold and windy day. The next extremely cold and windy day was December 13th at Walmart. Police and fire department were there. Firemen stood in the vestibule. I was outside in the cold and the elements. I wasn't smart enough to go in, apparently. We did really well out there. Had a lot of kindness from residents of Coffeyville, and I think some of our neighbors from outside of the city limits and from South Coffeyville. And there was quite a few people coming up to us and providing donations to us, not only just physical donations, but also monetary. We used those funds to purchase items that were on the list that the children wanted that we didn't receive otherwise. Going back a little bit, we've partnered with USD 445 with counselors, and they get with the teachers and they identify the children for us, and they are able to provide us with that information, and then we based on that, then go out and try to find the items that we can get closest to for them. We try to buy at least one or two things off their list that they really would like to have. We're very fortunate that Brown Shoe Fit donated, I think, about $3,000 in shoes with specific sizes for the children. And these were really good shoes, so shout out to them. There were a lot of people involved in the process. It was not just the police and fire department. It was really a community event. Bob and Denise York have always been super good to us. We've utilized their Reawakening office as our headquarters now. We outgrew the police department training room a few years ago. And so we ran our base of operation out of there, had a lot of volunteers come in and help us sort the donated goods and gifts. We spent, I was not there. My feet were recovering the following day on December 14th, but the Junior Advisory Council, the Golden Gales, my barber and his wife came in, and a lot of people, friends of my wife, blacked out barcodes for the day. That was that Sunday after the 13th. And then they began sorting, and with the old saying, many hands make for light work, they were able to get all that sorting done for the most part that day. Had a pretty good operation with people coming and picking up. Again, thanks in part to the school counselors that were able to get the information accurate phone numbers and addresses for us. We had very few that we had to actually deliver. Most people came downtown and picked those up. Vice Mayor Van Oster provided us with a lot of boxes. We needed those. That was really good. Saved our bacon. So, thank you.
No
Okay.
problem.
Yeah.
And I noticed on our appropriation ordinance that you had withdrawal from Solutions North of $5,500
Yes.
to help with, like you said, on buying and everything. So is that collected all year, or is that just what was given to you this time of the year?
That was donated this time. Well, now we accept donations throughout the year if somebody
Okay.
wants to ahead of time. But yeah, that's what we
Probably
collected this
majority
year.
came
And there
right
were a
in.
lot of individuals, couples, businesses and industries that made donations to the Philo Cruiser program. And I will be sending out thank you letters to all of them as well, as we have in the past.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
And
Thanks a lot.
it's very impactful for our community and these children. A lot of them have fallen through the cracks. Unfortunate circumstances for them. And so, our whole goal is to provide some Christmas cheer and let them know that, there are people out there that still think about them. And especially, I want to shout out to my wife. She's the director of all of this. Without her, it wouldn't have happened for all the years. I jokingly say that she ought to be hired by the government to run FEMA because her organizational skills are unbelievable. So, thank you. And Shop with a Cop was also really good. And I'm fortunate we didn't have over 200 children this time. We had 96 children.
It's a good group.
So actually went pretty quickly
Yeah.
with all the volunteers out there helping wrap the gifts as well. So
Okay.
two really good programs for Coffeyville. And we can't thank everybody enough for that. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. I probably did. But
Okay.
yep,
And
very,
Chief,
very
you
good.
Thank you.
You mentioned Bob and Denise York, and we'd like to offer our condolences to Denise and her family on the loss of her sister.
Yeah.
Thank
Grew
you.
up next to
And
me
thank
on
you.
grew up next to me on 3rd Street.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Commissioners, next month, we will have new commissioners, and the intent for that meeting is we're going to limit the items on the agenda. I don't know if that we have any right now. We might have one. We're trying to keep it real short. We want to then move into a work session and go through orientation items. I'll have a leadership team there, employees there. We've got some presentations from outside groups that work with us, Gilmore and Bell, and so that is what the intent of that meeting is. And then we'll come back on the 27th and get back to business. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes.
All right. Now, any comments from commissioners and staff?
No? Just to have a Merry Christmas.
Yep.
Thank you to everybody for everything everybody does.
And
with this
I
city.
want to give a special thank you. This is Commissioner, Vice Mayor Van Oster's last meeting.
Nope, I got a half of one left.
You got a half of one left.
I'm counting down.
But I do want to say thank you. I honestly don't know what I would have done without you. No, you have been such a help, a mentor. And I truly appreciate the assistance and the learning, because when you first get on as a commissioner, it is a huge learning curve. I don't think anybody has any idea. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. And I so appreciate your help and advice, and I appreciate your time, and the city of Coffeyville thanks you for your
Thank you.
service.
It's a pleasure, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now I will move to recess to executive session for consultation with the city attorney regarding matters that would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship as permitted by KSA 75-4319B2 of the Open Meetings Act, to include the city manager, director of finance, and the city attorney joining by phone for a period of
Let's not do more than 10 minutes.
10 minutes. To reconvene in the commission room at 9:15. Second.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Maples, seconded by Commissioner Hendricks, to recess to executive session for consultation with the city attorney regarding matters that would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship as permitted by KSA 75-4319B2 of the Open Meetings Act, to include the city manager, director of finance, and the city attorney joining by phone for a period of 10 minutes to reconvene in the commission room at 9:15 p.m. Mayor Maples.
Aye.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Commissioner Hendricks.
Aye.
All right, let's get this show on the road. Okay, this city commission will reconvene with no action taken at this time. And do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make one.
I have a motion. Okay.
You motioned?
You second.
Okay, we'll go.
There we go.
Okay, so motion is made by Mayor Maples, seconded by Vice Mayor Van Oster to adjourn. Can I see a show of hands? Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.